our class number 15. Oops. Oh. And we are, Be'ezrat Hashem, going to talk today about different kind of cooking. What does that mean? We will explain what is the definition of prohibited Gentile cooking, okay, and what is not included in that category, okay. So we will discuss today about fire, salting, smoking, pickling, steaming, electricity, microwave, and pouring from kli rishon. Remember the definition kli rishon. Misha, remember, right? You have kli rishon, kli sheni, the main water holder. Could be a cup, could be a tanker, okay? It could be whatever. It's called kli rishon first, okay? All right, I'm just fixing it.
Rabbi, can I ask a quick question about this? I was confused. This is Yaakov. Shalom. Sorry about that. I was confused. I thought the klipa rishon was the first receiving vessel, but that's not true, right? You're saying it's the like where the water's contained, correct? Something like this.
Well, the kli rishon, shalom, refers to the first vessel that holds the water. Okay, it could be a pot.
So it's not the first receiving vessel, it's the first.
No. The first is the kli rishon, and then comes the second, the third, and so forth and so on. Okay? All right?
Thank you, Rabbi.
B'vakasha. Have a seat. Okay, so the prohibition against Gentile cooking only applies to cooking with fire itself. Remember when we learned that you put something on the fire and cook it. What about an electrical stove? The halakha specifically discuss food that it's on fire. Now we have electrical stoves, we have induction, and so forth and so on. So the prohibition against Gentile cooking only applies to cooking with fire itself, such as boiling in a pot with water, frying in a pan with oil, or roasting over a fire. Okay, so anybody will ask you, what will be considered as a Gentile cooking that is prohibited? You tell them this list. Okay, with boiling water, or frying pan, or roasting on fire. Okay, easy to remember. Now, foods which are prepared for consumption by salting, smoking. I'm talking about a case that's the only way they're preparing the food. Nothing else involved in between. Not boiling it before or roasting it before or after. Okay. Specifically, foods are prepared for consumption by salting or smoking. You know, they're making cold smoke. You know what cold smoking is? That, for example, they're making cheese like that. You can make it hot, it will melt everything. Okay? So they're putting it in a container or in a big oven or in a big room, and just bringing smoke to that room or to that container, and it goes directly to the cold food. Could be chicken, could be, I don't know, it could be fish, it could be cheese, something like that. It's cold smoking. Okay? So food which are prepared for consumption by salting or smoking or pickling are not forbidden as Gentile cooking. Likewise, cooking is not cooking is not hot springs, right? Or by concentrating the sun's rays with magnifying glasses, and is not included, all these things is not including in the prohibition. There are differences of opinion about steaming, as with pressurized steams, but the accepted halacha is that such cooking is not included in the prohibition. This ruling is what makes cooked canned vegetables and fish permitted for consumption. All right. I would always suggest that if the canned food is not marked as kosher, try to find another one. If you find something that has only very minimal ingredients, but yet has no kosher, so it could be kosher. We have even today a lot of food that comes in cans, okay, that are actually kosher, but people don't really know. So you can always send a picture out to the VAD, and they will tell you right on the spot if it's okay, acceptable, or not. Okay, just make sure when you take the picture, as one in the front, they will see the brand and the ingredients. Okay, I've done it many times, and I was surprised to hear and to see that it's actually okay. Okay, I'm talking about cases that you can't find anything similar item kosher. If that makes sense. Okay, any questions? What about the electrical stove? Gentile cooking with an electric stove is forbidden according to some opinion as from a fire, but other opinions permit that. So bishul, there's another opinion. I don't want to go through the whole list here, but you should know that an electric stove is debatable among the rabbis. Okay, some says the prohibition was with fire only, but some hold that it's actually have the same power. The electric stove has the same power like fire. Yeah. Okay, and some would say that the induction can get even more. It's stronger and faster. So the halacha that we hold today is that we are considered as fire. Just so you know that the rabbi is debating about it. What about cooking in the microwave? A Gentile cooked food in a microwave. Hey, this is not electric stove. It's not on the fire. It's using radio waves in a way. Right? Is that okay or not okay? So, number 12, cooking in microwave oven is considered cooking, though there are authorities who rules otherwise. Okay, we hold the same way in regards to microwave. Just a side note, I had a question the other day about people that works in an office. He works in an office that most of the people there are Gentiles, and he wants to use the microwave. The microwave in that office being used for the entire office. They're using it there. This microwave, obviously, with non-kosher items. Yeah. Some of them heating up pork in it. Can I use it to heat up my food?
I think if you wrap it in those 2 or 3 times, then maybe.
Okay, so the word suggested to wrap it really good. And the answer is yes, you're right. If you wrap it at least twice with plastic bag, or let's say that it's a closed container, and you're adding a Ziploc or a grocery store bag.
You said 2 covers?
2 covers, just to make sure. It's perfectly fine. You can still use that microwave. Okay. Anybody here know what rishon means? Rishon.
First vessel.
The first one.
First vessel.
Which first?
Container.
The one that?
The hot water.
The hot water that stand on the fire, or even now it's not standing on the water. It's the first source of water. So I'll give you an example. We're making coffee on Shabbat. Hot water coming from the urn, right? The electrical.
Yeah.
And I'm pouring water to a cup. Okay. In the cup I have coffee. What would be considered kli rishon? The urn, right? Kli sheni will be my cup. So what's up with the kli shlishi? Everybody's talking about the kli shlishi. For everybody, by the way. Ashkenazim maybe will be more strict here. And it means that, and really quickly, it's not what we're talking right now, but kli rishon is where you have the hot water, the boiling water, or even if it's not boiling. The kli sheni is the cup that I want to drink with. Okay, what's the kli shlishi? So
It's the cup you take.
okay, so let me explain what it means. It means that some rabbi holds, some poskim holds, that the water in the kli sheni, my cup, does not have the power to cook food. If I throw in it food, it's not as strong as the kli rishon, the one that's still connected to the outlet or on the fire. It's less power, right? Some says no, it's still strong enough. Everybody agreed, all opinion, that whatever comes from kli shlishi, from kli sheni to kli shlishi on the third cup, number 3, has no power to cook. Nevertheless, it's still very hot. It's not the way people cooking stuff. Okay? They're putting it on the fire. This is not on the fire. It's not on number 2, it's on number 3. So if one wants to drink coffee, for example, and wants to follow all opinion, he should take from first kli rishon to kli sheni, and that pour to your coffee. Your coffee become now kli shlishi, and that way you cover all opinion. Because some hold that maybe the coffee is not roasted, it's not cooked enough, or yes cooked, no cooked. So this is what you see in the synagogue, they're putting on the side always another cup, extra cup, in order to avoid that issue. Make sense? So kli rishon, kli sheni, kli shlishi. Achad, shtayim, sheni, shalosh, shlishi. All it's in Hebrew. Now, I'm going to teach you another term really quickly. Hopefully one day you'll remember them. Pouring from a kli rishon is not considered cooking for the prohibition of Gentile cooking, since pouring cooks up to a thickness of kedei klipa. Klipa, it's like, imagine, you know what's klipa, by the way?
Just like a cover.
A cover, very good. Give me an example of klipa. Oh, by the way, we use this term in Kabbalah, right? We use it in Kabbalah, klipa, klipot. Nothing to do with Kabbalah right now. For example, when I peel tomatoes, pilar papas, when I pilar papas, right? So we this piece that comes out of the potatoes called klipa. How you can see it over there? Yeah. How thick it could be. So our sage says when you take food and you pour on it hot water, the power of this hot water will be able to cook up to this thickness. It's called kedei klipa, as much as a peel. It's not really considered cooking. Imagine to yourself, I have a potato, and I'm taking a cup full of boiling water, and I will pour it on the potato. The potato will be ready to eat? No. Right? But it will cook some, right? Yeah. So how deep it will go? Up to a klipa. Yeah. This thickness, maybe. Okay, that shell. So that's the meaning of the term kedei klipa. We're using this term a lot when you study the laws of kosher, and this term is been used in different halachot, and it's called kedei klipa, and especially in cases when cheese or milk touch raw meat. So how much can affect? Should I throw out the entire meat? No, they say just slice it, kedei klipa, and you can eat the rest of it. Okay? It's terms that in meat and dairy stuff, I don't know about it right now. I'm using this term a lot. Okay, so far so good. So let me repeat that. Pouring from rishon is not considered cooking for the prohibition of Gentile cooking. Since pouring cooks up to a thickness of kedei klipa, kedei like kedei klipa, and cannot accomplish the minimum of 1/3 of cooking, which makes food ready to eat. What will be considered, according to the Jewish halacha, as ready to eat? Shlish bishul. Shlish bishul means 1/3. If it's a 1/3 cook, it's already considered cooked. That's why I see some people, when they're making chulin for Shabbat, they at least trying to make it shlish bishul, shlish, third after third, so they can later maybe be able to open and put back the lid and all that for another time to do. That's called shlish bishul. At least 1/3, it's considered good. Therefore, if a Gentile pours from a rishon onto food and afterwards a Jew finished cooking it, the food is permitted. So as long as it doesn't go that far over, and then it's okay. Okay? We discussed cooking. What about baking? Baking. Some foods which seem cooked are actually produced by baking instead. The laws pertaining to them are those for all Gentiles baking and can be found above. Okay, we said that. One example of this is, for example, donuts. Okay, donuts is baking. I understand, I didn't see it actually, but I understand that part of some places, before baking donuts, they or frying them, they boil them. Boil them in water.
You fry them, I think, for donuts.
So you saw that they are boiling and then frying them? Boiling.
Bagels, for bagels, you...
For bagels, right. Bagels I know for sure. Bagels I know for sure. This is why it was debatable about the bracha. If it's considered bread or not bread, because it's actually boiled. So just so you know, baking is also considered as cooking. Okay? Something very interesting to discuss. I don't know if you ever heard about it. Corn tortilla. I don't know if you heard something. Corn tortilla, no?
It's very, very good.
You heard about that? You guys came from Mexico, right? I don't know if you heard about it. Huh?
You need to heat it.
Yeah, so let's see what's it.
Heat it.
Corn tortillas are amazing.
It's amazing. Okay, let's see what the halacha says about it. Other foods which seems to be baked are actually produced by cooking. You see tortilla, for example, and you think that it's baked, but it says corn tortilla, for example, are not considered a baked product because they are not made from one of the 5 grains.
Right. Yeah.
They're made from corn. Now, you got to be careful because some of these products contain flour, unless it says 100% corn.
Oh, yeah.
And some using it on Passover, right? On Passover, it's 100% corn. If another Jew will come to your house, see you eating that, it will faint on the spot. He will think that you're eating chametz, right?
Yeah.
It's actually 100% corn, and I remember when we were given the classes by the Medina's house, they mentioned that to me, and to my surprise, I didn't know that, to be honest with you, because I always thought that corn tortilla always mixed with flour, but, or at least go through the process of the same machinery. So I called up the CRC, and I spoke with the rabbi, and he said that, yes, it's 100% corn, and if you're Sephardi that eat kidneys, legumes, you may use it. So I asked him why you don't write on it kosher for Passover. So he told me that there's a variety of issues with that, and they can't really put it out there. But if you're Sephardi and you know it's 100%, you may use it for Passover. Anyways, let me just finish that. So the exception made for local breads does not apply to them, even in Mexico, since even there wheat bread is available. Thus, corn tortillas are subject to the prohibition against Gentile cooking and cannot be treated leniently as if they were a form of bread. Some Mexicans, rabbis, do rule leniently, though. So it depends if you follow that and you trust this va'ad, and it says it's kosher and it's okay, you can eat that, no problems. Okay. There exists a special kind of can found in France, which includes a chemical which heats up and cooks the food inside when the can is opened. I remember seeing something like that for it's a military level. When you're in the field, you can heat up the food with just opening or twisting at the bottom something, and it will heat up whatever is in that can. Okay? This kind of cooking is subject to the prohibition against Gentile cooking. If the food inside, such as a can, is suitable for a king's table and is never eaten raw, it may not be eaten if it is opened by a Gentile. So let me just repeat something. Remember, we learned the term of king table. Remember king's table, which means a significant food, an important food. So for example, salad made out of lettuce and I don't know, cucumber and tomatoes, one considers such an important thing, right? Everybody has. But you don't have to imagine a feast in a palace. Just an important food that you would go and eat in a restaurant, or they serve an event, or an important event. Okay, that will be considered as food that you have to be careful. Anything less than that is not considered as an important food, and we may eat if a Gentile prepare that. Okay? It means if we know that the whole process was kosher. Okay? So regular salad, yes. Today, if you ask me if you can go and eat at a vegetarian restaurant, or they serve you a plate for vegetarian that contains only veggie food, can I eat from it? No. You would say at first glance, yes, why not? But we know it's a problem. Why? What? I know there is no mashgiach. What's the problem? The insects. I don't know how they clean the lettuce or the cabbage or any other vegetable. Right. So mashgiach, the supervisor, will take all vegetables and clean them well and wash them well and soak them in a soap, dish soap, and after examining every lettuce what do you call this? Piss. They have to look also through the light and all that, make sure that it's kosher. Then this is why I think then it's okay. This is why I think people call kosher food a clean food. They think kosher is about cleanness, and they don't even think about the insects. I bet you will find in every lettuce pack either mosquitoes or stuff like that. Okay, other stuff. In Israel, they're using what we called shulchan shikuf. It's a table that the top of the table is made out of clear glass, and there's light under it. So anything that you put, the light go through it. So they check it really quickly, and you'll be surprised sometimes what kind of stuff you'll find in it. Either worms or bugs that you couldn't see. So in many hashgachot, many vad will not let you use cabbage or lettuce. They have a whole list if you didn't go through that process. Because even after putting in a dish, soap soaking and all that, some get stuck to it if you don't wash it well. And you would eat a dead mosquito. It's still prohibited, but going through this you can see it really clearly. Okay?
Broccoli is a big problem.
Broccoli, it's a big problem. So my recommendation to you is buy kosher. It went through a special process. In Israel, there is a great system under the term is most familiar called gush katif. Katif. What is that? The farmers, they don't grow the vegetables, either broccoli or cabbage or lettuce or parsley or cilantro and all these vegetables on the outside field, in the field. It's in a closed place, closed, like a greenhouse, huge one, made out of plastic. You should Google it later to see what I'm talking about. And it's called bugs-free environment. You can buy it without the need of soaking it in water. In soap water. Okay, there is no need for it. You just need to wash it from soil and make sure it's clean. They cost more, but you're safe. Okay, and you have ashgacha on it. They making sure to have this area clean of bugs. They have a big fans and they have material that they put on the ground and around that. They make it safe, and it's all good like that. Okay. In America, I never saw anything like it. I just wanted to share. Maybe one more minute, and then I'll let you go for davening. Any questions so far? You good? Okay. Number. Okay. You know what? I'm going to leave it for next week. It's a new topic. It's called combinations of subject and exempt foods. What does that mean? Be'ezrat Hashem, we will talk next time. It talks mainly about if I had food that was cooked by a Gentile that mixed with a food that was not mixed and it was made by a Jew. How, let's say, a Gentile cooked an egg and I already cut it, chopped it, and mixed it with kosher cheese or cream cheese. It's mixed. Can I eat it? I can't eat it. It happens, believe me, all the time in dormitories, in hotels, when they're mixing stuff. They want to know if you can eat it, you have to throw it, or what to use it, what to treat it. It's a very interesting concept. Any questions? So, on behalf of Ohev Israel Foundation, I want to thank you. Next class will be on Thursday. Rabbi Liren, you can join on Zoom. He will still giving his class on from the shul. Just hold on 1 second.